Hello and welcome to Late Night Creatures, the only late night show where I draw creatures, and that's the show. So this is episode 55. So today, with a new format that I'm going to try out every 5 episodes of Late Night Creatures, we are going to go back to an older episode and redraw the creatures using the new skill sets and knowledge that I've acquired by going to art school. And so we're going to start off with Episode 1, a classic. I did it in a much lower resolution than I do the new ones, and as such, it's really pixelated if you zoom in. But if I remember the names, Jazzy Jake is this guy, and this is Jazzy Jake Jr., and I think his name was also Jazzy Jake, and that was the joke for that episode, was that everyone was named Jazzy Jake. So we're going to jump in, and we're going to redraw this gaggle, this group, this family unit. And I think we're going to start off with the young saxophonist, Jazzy Jake Jr., because he's a fun guy. So I'm going to have to keep switching back and forth so that I can use the reference efficiently, using my own work for reference. And so, I'm going to have to jump back and forth. So it's going to be, you're going to get random splashes of color, because that's back when I used to color the episodes after I did them, which I stopped doing and I would use the full colored images for the thumbnails, but I stopped doing that because I thought that was kind of false advertising, because I never actually colored them in the show. So now for the thumbnails, I'll do an actual, not a screen capture, but essentially a screen capture from the episode with the shading and drawing that we did in the normal one, instead of going in and coloring it, because it's just my opinion that I don't think I should use a thumbnail that doesn't appear in the episode at all. Doesn't seem like a good practice. It also seems unkind to the people who are watching. It was essentially clickbait, more or less. But I've changed my ways. I don't do that anymore. So the hat, I think we'll keep more or less the same. I made the brim look more like an actual brim, but we have it flopping down like that. Maybe we'll add in, some of this. Yeah. And so then we got to add in his head. So he had this, he has a very oblong, avocado-shaped head here. He's sort of like this. So there he is. That's better. See, it fits the hat. It fits the hat a little bit more, which I think is good. It makes the hat a little more... It makes his whole sort of look a little more believable to do that. See, I think that's already an improvement, at least as far as proportions and believability goes. So I might have to tilt his head back in a second, but his eyes I also think we can keep somewhat similar with these bags. I'm going to just go in a little more detailed with it. This is Junior, but Junior seemed to have a lot of premature wrinkles to him. We're also going to give him a bit more of a embouchure. If you don't know, that's what you call the mouth position you use when you're playing an instrument, a wind instrument. We're going to give him a much more distinct one of those. This isn't super right for playing a saxophone, but I think it looks silly, and so that's what we're going to roll with. So we have this here, and go ahead and finish off that curve, make that a bit of a more wrinkly, sort of stretched out mouth, and that'll allow us to have a lot of leeway. He looks kind of gross, but that's okay. I think he was a bit of a grody, gross guy, if I remember correctly. I might remember incorrectly, who knows. So we're going to move on now I think we should tilt him back so that we can get sort of that like jazz lean that he has. So we're gonna just tilt him back a bit. And then we gotta make a bold choice to make sure we get this shape right. So we didn't really have a neck, and we'll keep that because drawing necks is weird. Especially if they aren't part of the original design. It's hard to add a neck to something that is mouth time. That's correct. It's hard to add a neck to something that doesn't really have a neck. And so what we have to do is just leave it as it is. I don't see much of a point in adding in a neck because he looks great without it. He looks stupendous. So we're gonna move on. We gotta just get this shape in, and so to do that, I'm gonna see now that the bottom part isn't great. The code isn't great. I'll admit. We'll fix that in a second here. But first, before we do that, what I'd like to do is get the rest of the body sort of. Actually, never mind. I lied. We can go ahead and fix the code now. So that seems all right. So his back is arched. So his back is arched like that. So then his one leg. Which leg is? Oh, you can't tell. It looks like it's his back leg. Should be coming straight down through here. See, I'm trying to use a little more thought process, not just drawing. Yeah, I am remaking the first one. If you missed it, you're just joining us. The new format for series 3, the episodes after episode 50, the new format that we're going for is every 5 episodes I'm going to go back and using my new skill sets and knowledge, I'm going to remake an older episode, or maybe not entirely, but as many creatures as I think is feasible. So we're working on Jazzy Jake Jr. right now, the lovable saxophonist. Look at that. I just want to point out, look where that elbow, oh, I'm not on top of look where that elbow is. That's funny. He's a very short upper arm. We are not going to keep that as part of the design. We are going to move on from that. So, I don't know what to do with the arm. I need to put the saxophone in place before I do anything with the arms, because otherwise, look at that. Because otherwise, it's gonna end up bad. I can promise you, it's not gonna work because I'm gonna have to move them. So we're gonna go do the saxophone first and figure that out. And so this saxophone is a very minimalist design, and because I don't want to, but we're gonna say that it's a weird, funky, creature saxophone, so that I don't have to draw a more detailed saxophone. Don't tell anyone, but that's the secret. I am gonna try and make it look a little more accurate to what a saxophone looks like, but we are not going to kill ourselves over it. Now, I have redone Jazzy Jake Sr., the big blob. I have redone him before in, I think, episode 10. Oh, yeah. Yeah. A friend of mine is mentioning there's a role-playing game called Starfinder, and I did a boss fight for them, and the guys used sonic attacks, and they were a jazz band. He's saying this reminds him of that. Yeah, I agree. I would have to agree. Also, this is not right. The saxophone needs to be tilted. I think it would be more like that. It's very subtle, but once it gets longer, it's less subtle. See? Okay. So now we're going to go down, do this big saxophone sweep. Ooh. Ah, dang it. I'm just going to erase. I was about to undo that, but that would have undone all of it, and I don't want that. I just need to, I just need to undo that little piece that I messed up. Because it's more like this. And then his had this sort of very large connective piece that we'll leave in because I kind of like how it looks. It's kind of cool. It's got sort of like it makes it look a little more foreign, which is nice. But I will say that's definitely much more shaped like a saxophone to a certain extent than the other one was. So now let's put in this tie of his. He has this very large. Oops, I did that wrong. He has this very large tie. It's very. You can see it there. It's a big old tie, very long. We're just gonna put that there so we know where to put it later. Because now I gotta do these arms. So I'm gonna do a trick called. I'm gonna start with the hands. And he has 4 fingers in the original design, but I'm going to give him 3 now, just for some simplicity. And I think it'll make it a little more stylized, and it'll make it look a little nicer. Also, you only use, for the most part, you only use 3 of the fingers for keys on a saxophone. For those of you who don't know, I used to play, which is why I have all this knowledge. It's also one of the big reasons that's what the first episode of Late Night Creatures was because I played. And so I was like, okay, I can do this because I'm familiar. But you only use 3 keys with each hand, mainly. And so he really only needs 3 fingers. He just can't play certain notes. And that's okay, because, most of those notes you don't need. They're stupid. It's all the flats and the sharps, all the stuff that's boring. Okay. So there's that. It's definitely a much more proportionate arm. It's not really, but it's way too big. Hold on. Sorry, we're going to backtrack. So I can make this look a little bit better. So it should probably be about that large. And I'm trying to make it look more proportional. It's a little difficult with that position. I would stand up and test it out, but I don't want to stand up and sit back down, because I'll probably do something stupid, like knock over my green screen if I try that. People are talking about when I used to do Let's Plays when I was much younger. Well, not much younger. I think if 4 or 5 years ago, it's telling me to bring back the series that I did the Let's Plays of. I don't have any plans to do that. If I did, it would be much later. But I'm trying to keep this channel pretty strictly an art channel. That said, if a friend of mine was like, "Hey, I made a Let's Play YouTube channel. Do you want to come on it every now and then?" Oh yeah, 100% I'd do that. But that's different than running it yourself. Yeah, if you want to watch some embarrassing stuff, got some old. See, I did it again. I did the dang wrong arm again. I didn't even notice. Got swept up in chatting. How is this arm supposed to work? I'm just testing a theory. Hold on. So if you do that, this is the wrong arm that he's using, I think. Yeah, he's using the wrong arm for the top of the saxophone. That could be a problem, but if you do that, I'm testing stuff out. So this might be part of the issue. This hand is very wrong. But that's how he's holding it, so I guess that's how he holds it. That's how he holds it. Yeah, stream Gary's mod. Streaming Gary's mod could be fun. Gary's mod is a very fun game. I've put many hours into Gary's mod. Almost probably a dangerous amount. Okay. So what we're going to do is figure something out. I need to get rid of this arm, though. Wait, I could have... You know what? There we go. So, I agree that it needs to be lower. Problem is, I didn't give the hand the right position to make it go lower. But we can fix that. by doing... Oh, there it is. The hand was the problem. That's usually the problem when it comes to stuff like this. I think the hand was definitely the big issue. Because now I can do this, which will be cool. And that'll allow me to bring this down, bring that down. I can bring it more like that. Yep, I think. There we go. That's more acceptable. The arm's still a little big, but you know what? I'll take it. You gotta have strong arms. I think actually the problem is I drew this at an angle, which it really shouldn't be. Shouldn't be able to see inside of the sleeve at all. That might help if I change that. Okay. There we go. So now what we can do is we can bring this other leg, doing this very iconic leg up sort of motion. I don't know why I said sort of. This leg up motion. Very cool. How's everyone doing? It's going good, man. Good to see you. Got T-Rex arms. That'd be yeah. I mean, if we did it straight, it would be T-Rex arms, and that could be funny. But maybe a different creature. It's maybe a creature for another day. We'll make his tie poke out down at the bottom so that it's noticeable. So that's very good. And you know what? Because of time, I think I'm just going to stick with just this guy. Because we also got to throw in this other hand here. This other arm. I don't think you'd be able to see much of the other hand. You'd be able to see, like, the thumb. But because of time, and actually, you know what? This guy's so simple, we can draw him. But, again, the last time I want to say is because of time, I might do these guys in full color just for fun, if everyone would be down for that. Just know it's not going to be as quick and exciting as the shading. There's going to be a little more, you know, a little bit more to it. But I think that's pretty close. Hold on, let's try and do this. There we go. So there's our original. It's pretty cool. And there's our new one. He's a bit stockier. He has a pocket now, I've decided. It's for his reeds and his gum. And it's up for you to decide which is which, because I just put 2 rectangles in there. And now we got this guy. And you know what? I'm going to do something crazy. So I'm just going to get a really big brush for him. Because he's very just, you know, graphic. He doesn't have much intricacy to him. But I'm just going to take a really big brush. Make that. Then bump down the size a touch. So yeah, and so there's his entire body done in a few seconds. I don't know why I did that. It was, oops. Well, there was his entire body done. I accidentally deleted it. But it's back now. And so now what we can do, go back to our normal size, and we can do some erasing. And so we can make his eyes by erasing instead. Now, he was sort of mean. I remember he was... he's a bit of a rude customer, so we're just definitely going to keep that aspect of him. But I drew pupils in him last time. I think we're going to leave those out this time around just to make him a little more, a little less organic, so that I'm bringing back the Michael Jackson look with the half glove. Okay, well, kinda, I suppose, if that's what you want to call it. The half glove. Yeah. What was someone else saying? Oh, there we be. Yeah. No, we could draw this. This note guy, it would be quick, no matter what. With the way I draw now, if I were to do something like this now, as you just saw, it would very much just be I just watched My Neighbor Totoro. Great movie. Highly recommend if you're stuck in quarantine. You can get it on Amazon Prime Video. So I've seen a lot of big smiley mouths today within the last couple hours. So I'm going to borrow from them a bit. They didn't show the separation of teeth because that makes things look more friendly. But, oh gosh, he's kind of scary. So first thing so now I'm going to do this. And he's going to have these like very, sort of Looney Tunes, Cuphead looking gloves. Oop, that's not good. I did them bad, but that's the look I'm going for. If in the event I never get there, that's the look I was going for. That's fine. I'll even, bump it up by giving him the little Mickey Mouse lines. But another fun trick I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure you can see his arm. Oop. Make sure you can see his arm all the way. You know what? I'm going to do this a different way. I'm going to make sure you can see his arm all the way to where it starts. By just adding in a white line there. Very subtle, very simple. And for the other arm, it looks like, I'm going to have him snap his fingers, because I'm pretty sure that was what Jazzy Jake Sr.'s job was. But he ain't here. So we're going to have this one do it. I forget. This one's name was Jazzy Jake also. I think that was actually his name. His name was Jazzy Jake T-O, T-O-O was this one's name, which is kind of funny. That's kind of how you draw a snap. Oh, I did the wrong finger down. That's the problem. I'm having to do some physical work this episode to make sure I draw things right. Which is not what I was expecting to have to do. So you snap with the middle finger. And so these two should be up. It looks like he's rocking out, but just to make sure that we know it's a snap, we're just going to do some motion lines, and we're going to add that little very graphic. And then we'll just, his legs were he was pretty bow-legged originally, but I think I just want him to be more straight-legged. I kind of like him. Okay, so real quick, with 7 minutes, I might not be able to shade, but we're going to do color because it sounds like a fun thing to do with this episode. And then that means we can do it with the rest of the episodes. We do like this. So that'll be fun. So if you're looking for full color drawings, not fully rendered, but at least full color, you can come to this show every 5 weeks. And there you can see them. And that's the only place on YouTube. It's not true. While I'm coloring, I might as well. Oh yeah, he's the note guy's part of one of the the 1960s, gangs that would do the snapping. What musical is that? I don't know. I don't know why I asked, because I didn't know the answer. That's from something specific. It's associated with just, the 60s now, like the 60s tough guys now, but it's from something specific, and I don't know what. We're just going to make both of these orange. Okay, so there he is. I like his whole deal. He's more squat, and he's a little bigger, but I think that's okay, because that's the way to get his arms in proportion. And so for this one, let's take this blue that he uses, and we'll put that on the gloves, 'cause I think that's what we did originally. It is. So we'll put this blue on the gloves, like so. A greaser, yeah. Put the blue on the gloves. And for I think the feet were also blue. So he's got all this blue. What was his, he didn't have teeth. We're going to give him gross teeth. Because, boy, if there's one thing I like, it's some gross teeth. These aren't like gross, but they're not like pearly whites. And his eyes will be, well, take this. Does that work? Oh yeah, that works pretty good. Then I'm going to go in with a yellow. And we're going to make the snaps stand out a little more. This episode has been a lot of me fussing over little details, which is not typical of the show. But that's what these episodes are going to be, I think, a little more about, you know, the specifics of what I'm drawing, less so about the creatures, because I've already made up the creatures. And that's what a lot of the brain power, West Side Story, thank you. And that's what a lot of the brain power of the other episodes goes to, is thinking of, you know, creatures, their backstories, their names, all that jazz. We have 4 minutes. So, okay. I've done him before, but this guy back here, I forget what his deal was. I don't remember anything about him, but we are going to draw him again just because I have time. And he's very similar to the music note. Sorry, I drank a bunch of water before this. He's very similar to the music note. He's very, you know, simple. And so we're just going to make him more a very looming presence right here. And I need to put this on a different layer. But we're going to make him a very looming presence regardless with this time we have left. There he is. We got to go back over to this layer and make sure that that arm is white because I just erased. Perfect. Ba-da-da-da. So he's chilling over there. And he had red eyes, and he's very blank-faced. So I'll have him, like that. That's what he looked like. Make him a little more like that, and we're going to do some fun stuff by doing this. Check this out. You guys ready? Instant way to make some stuff cooler. Add a bit of a soft glow to it. Yeah. Okay, cool. And so now for the background, I think we're going to grab the same colors that we used in the original background. So this will be the wall. And you're getting to see a bit of my process for when I do like full normal drawings. And we need to make him smaller. Not necessarily smaller, but shorter. So that he actually looks like he's standing in the room and not just an unknown presence. Very cool. Okay. So he just snapped half the galaxy away. He sure did. Well, he snapped one person from the original picture away. And actually, let's play with some stuff. Oh my gosh, that's scary. We're gonna play with some layer types here, just with the remaining minutes to have, to see if we can make him look a little more creepy. That's kind of good. I do like these ones where you were barely seeing him, because I think he was some kind of specter, some kind of ghost. But I can't really remember. If anyone had watched that episode and remember, if you could let me know, because I'd love to remember. I kind of like that. I kind of like him just sort of. We can make this better too. Give me a sec. So I kind of like him being more of like a spectral figure. And so if we go here and we just sort of blur his edges a little bit, then he just sort of looks like a weird ghost. And I kind of like him. He sort of looks like he's like barely peeking out of the wall because he's hearing. Oh, I forgot. The most crucial part of this is that he was really bad at the music. And so really bad at music. And why is this? Oh, I get it. He's really bad at music. And so all the notes were sort of like wrong and messed up. That's a bad note right there. That's how you know that you played something wrong, is when the note pops out and it looks like this. Okay. Well, sorry, that was loud. Thank you so much for joining me on Late Night Creatures. Here is our redo of episode 1. I like it. You know, I don't know if it's necessarily better, but I don't think it's worse. And that's the important part. That's that's the trick to all of this. It doesn't have to be to these episodes. As long as I don't make it worse, then we're in the clear. And I think that this isn't worse. You can argue amongst yourselves whether or not it's better. So with that, I bid you good night, and I hope that you have a wonderful week. I hope you're all staying safe, and I'll see you next week. Bye.